I've wanted to talk about this issue for quite some time. I've written a book about it. I've blogged about it. I've written short editorial pieces on it. And now I'm in a position where I can actually have a candid discussion about it. My issue right now is the issue of sexual molestation among our kids. I think that this is something that we need to have a conversation about. I think that it's something that we really, really need to talk about. We need to talk about it within our families. We need to have this conversation in our churches. We need to come up with ways to deal with this epidemic of sexual molestation among our kids. I am an abuse survivor. I was molested by a family member when I was 6. And then I was also molested at the age of 13, back to back by 3 different men that used 3 different grooming methods. Um, I remember this distinctly. And at the time, I thought that this was something that just happened to me. And I realize now that it's not something that just happened to me, and it's not something that and began and ended with those incidents, respectively. Uh, I believe that what took place, um, though it wasn't physically painful, um, it was emotionally painful because it changed the trajectory of who I would have been had this never occurred. Um, what sexual molestation does is it robs that child of their sense of self-worth and self-esteem. Um, I'd struggled with self-esteem issues most of my life. I've struggled with them in relationships, and now what I've come to understand is that I have a better grip on what I will and will not accept, who the kind of person that I want to be with, the kind of person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I did find that individual, and it was then and only then when I was able to come to grips with what took place. I'm going to open up this channel and have candid conversations with folks. Um, you'll probably see a little bit more of me on YouTube, and I hope to be able to reach out and help someone. I'm really, really hoping that, and you know, at the end of the day, I'll probably wind up cleaning up my beard a little bit. But continuing on my quest to shed light on a topic that most of us shy away from. I think, once again, I'll say it again, we as a people, especially people of color, need to have this conversation instead of acting like it doesn't happen or that it doesn't exist. We do have pedophiles that's roaming the streets in our neighborhood. We have them in our families. We have them in our clergy. We need to first and foremost own that. Once we own that, then we can say, all right, what can we do about it? Now, one of the things that I can say is that as a parent, you don't want to be your child's best friend. Um, had my parents and my mother and father respectively, had they um, asked me some questions when my last abuser kept me out all night long and raped me the night before, I couldn't tell them what had happened. I didn't want to. It was man on man. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I couldn't. And I got beaten. They didn't know that I was out on. They didn't know who I was with. They didn't know where I was. They were. I'm probably sure they were just relieved that I wasn't lying dead in an alley somewhere. Um, but at the same time, if a 13-year-old child is out all night long and they just come home, they were with someone or they were out all night long somewhere. You should talk to them to find out where they were. I mean, it's that simple. That child may or may not give you an honest answer. I'm probably sure that I would not have given my mother an honest answer. But you should have at least initiated, first and foremost, find out where that child was. If that child can't tell you, then talk at a later date, and possibly that same day when your temper isn't as high. Because if you're too angry, the child isn't going to talk to you. Or if they do talk to you, they're not going to tell you the truth. But if you as a parent can temper yourself, literally temper yourself, and put aside the fact that your child deliberately disobeyed you. I did not do that. That's not what happened to me. I would never have stayed out all night long of my own volition. Instead, I listened to my abuser. He met me after a school trip. Um, he tried to convince me to come back to his house. I told him I don't think that's a good idea because it's running late. He said he'd call me a cab. I went to his house because I thought I can beat the trains home and still get home before the lights turn down. And that's not what happened. So, anyway, this is just to get that conversation going. If any of you have gone through something like this, especially you guys, it's okay to talk about this. I think that we should talk about this. I don't think you have any idea as to what was truly taken from you, because it didn't just start or end with the incident in and of itself. There's a lot more that you lost, and we need to find out what you lost so that we can then build on trying to get as much of it back as we can, because we can't undo time. We can't undo the incident itself. There's a saying that, once the cork has been popped, you can't get the soda back into the bottle. So you'll see a little bit more of me. I haven't decided how much time I want to allocate towards this. But you'll be seeing a little bit more of me as I build up a following to talk about this. It is so important. It really is. It's such an important thing that we as a people need to talk about and stop being embarrassed that this is a topic that we can say, oh, this doesn't happen to us. It does happen to us. And it happens far more frequently than you think that it does. All right? My name is JL Whitehead. I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Have a wonderful day. All right? Take care.